All right, so this is our third example in 3.1 of translations. And so the sentence that we are translating in this example is a neither nor sentence, which has to do with conjunction and disjunction. The sentence we have in mind right now is Carla will have neither cake nor ice cream. So as with our last two examples, first things first, we have to identify our atomic sentences. And our atomic sentences here are the same as they were in the previous examples. So we have Carla will have cake. That seems to be our first atomic. And our second atomic is that Carla will have ice cream. And when we identify capital letters to put to these sentences, we're going to identify those capital letters like we did in the previous examples as C and I. And why do we do that? Well, we do that precisely because that is the most important difference between these two sentences. Carla will have are the same words in both sentences. The words that really distinguish these sentences are cake and ice cream. And so that is why we identify each sentence with the first letter of those importantly different words. So now we have cake and ice cream. The next thing we do is we identify the connective words in our complex sentence. And the connective words seem to be two. We have neither and we have nor. And so these are connective words that we haven't really encountered before. And so we have to ask ourselves about these words. We have to ask, what do these words really look like? What are they doing for us? And so here's an important thing to notice. If we look at the word nor importantly looks like a combination of or and this N. And we can think of that, right, as not abbreviated to N or, right? Because we literally have the word or embedded in nor. And so it seems to be a disjunction that's being negated, right? So nor is the negation of that or. And so we get a not or. Similarly, if you think about neither looks to be the same way. Neither has the word either embedded in it, and it has an N, right? So that looks in the same way, like it's a shortened version of not either. Now notice not either and not or are kind of synonyms, right? They really kind of do the same thing. Either and or have the same meaning in English, right? They're both disjunctions. And so we basically, what we can say they're doing, like in our first example where we talked about both and doing the same work, these two words, connective words, are really kind of repetitive, right? They do the same work. There's nothing extra they do. They do the same work. And so they're not going to add any extra connectives on top of each other. They're each contributing the same connective, right? So just like we wouldn't add two conjunctions, we only add one conjunction when we see both as well as and. We're only going to add one set of connectives even though we see two words here, even though we see both, neither, and nor. So now we know that we have Carla will have cake on one side, and we have Carla will have ice cream on the other. And we know, because we just hammered it into our heads, that we're going to have a disjunction between these things because we have or and either. Right? So we know that there seems to be a disjunction between Carla will have cake and Carla will have ice cream. So we have Carla will have cake or Carla will have ice cream. But then there's also this not component, right? We have not or not either. And so notice, what is that not, what is that of nor and that of neither negating? It really seems to be negating the disjunction, right? It's negating the or. It's negating the either. So in a way, what's happening here is we're getting a negation of a whole big disjunction, right? And so that's exactly what we're going to do here. What we're going to do here is we're going to say, it's not the case that Carla will have cake or ice cream. It's not the case that Carla will have cake or ice cream. And so we're negating that big conjunction. That seems to be what neither nor does. And so now we're going to go back through and we're going to check to see if our translation is in fact correct. And so that translation translates back to, it's not the case that Carla will have cake or ice cream. And now notice that even though this sentence looks different than the one above, because it doesn't contain neither nor, we've taken out the neither nor, the sentiment still remains the same. If Carla will have neither cake nor ice cream, then it's not the case that Carla is going to have either. Right? So if Carla is going to have neither nor, then there's no way that Carla is going to have either cake or ice cream. Right? In fact, if we put an either back in here, right? So if we say Carla, it's not the case that Carla will have either cake or ice cream, we can notice that this not takes widest scope over the either right here, over the either and the or, giving us in principle kind of, right, a neither and a nor.